1,000 pennies wins. Shake hands.
Mine's no good. And what makes you think his will be any better? Give me that! Why, it tastes so good. I think I'd like to try it a second time.
Before I start, I just wanna say, Kirb Crew is a homie. He's been there since the very beginning and saved my channel from dying, so I'll be forever grateful for that. If I look like I'm sounding too harsh in this video, note that he has already heard my thoughts in DMs and mostly agreed with them. So I finally got around to rewatching Mario, Sonic and Kirby Warriors of Chaos thanks to the recent release of episode 2, and was episode 1 the most bland, forgettable and washed start you could ever ask for a series. The first things we see are fucking hell in Jeff. This is not the first video that cost me money. Mario Bros are invited, they throw a party, Bowser starts venting about his losses, Peach offers some sort of tribute in the balcony, Peach starts getting all romantic, and Dad gets kidnapped by Kamek and Cammy. Yeah, there's no excuse in this. You can't get more Heroes of Stars pilled than this. But wait, Mario and Luigi also get kidnapped? And they actually fight the Magic Koopas? Okay. Never mind, Peach gets taken anyway. The episode also drags for so long, like more than half of it is reminiscing of past adventures and celebrating, acting as if it's the final episode and not the first. That's where those similarities end, however. This is a crossover, but Sonic and Co are already at the party, just casually existing in the same space. So how do they know each other, you ask? Through the Olympic Games, of course. I thought this was somewhat clever, as the Sonic cast doesn't need to introduce themselves to the Mario cast for the billionth time. It's a nice inversion of that trope. It however brought another problem. Instead of being Heroes of Stars pilled, it was now being Worlds in Danger pilled. Far more than Worlds in Danger actually. Not counting Super All-Star Bros because that was like 3 episodes in one. This might be the most character-packed opening that I've ever seen. Clocking in at around, I don't know, 35 characters? Right off the bat, 35 characters. The fight with Kamek and Cammy also felt forced, as if it had to be the obligatory fight scene of the episode. It went for a bit too long and was super unsatisfying because the bros won, but were fighting clones the whole time, so Peach gets kidnapped by the real ones anyway. Wow. That being said, there were some creative ideas here. Mario and Luigi swapping opponents mid-fight was a cool touch, because Luigi's face got turned into a Yoshi egg, and when he goes for his classic side B, he misses his target but hits the other one, so they switch. I found that funny. Overall, this is an episode playing it safe, only leaving its comfort zone at mere glances. Still, Mr. Kirb Crew, do not remake it. Please, do not remake it. I already told you this, and I'm telling you again, but I have PTSD with Kratos, so... Because I know how eager you are to fix all the issues, but it's just too early. You are only 2 episodes in. It's much better to continue with episode 3 forwards. People don't want remakes, they want continuations. But I'm not here for episode 1, I'm here for episode 2. And the huge improvements it brings to the table. Of course, it's not perfect, so I'll start with the flaws first, then talk about the positives, so I can end the video on a good note. There's a lot to dissect here. First, a rundown of this episode's events. After Peach gets taken away, Mario and Luigi follow suit. Sonic and Co are first to stay, however, due to the Koopalings invading the castle as a form of preventing them all from helping the bros. Once they arrive at Bowser's lair, the bros face to dozens of enemies until they finally reach the King Koopa himself. They fight him, the fight is evenly matched, until Bowser's new partner, King Dedede, steps in and completely turns the tide, leading to Mario and Luigi's defeat. But before anything could happen to them, Peach frees himself from her cage and stands tall against Bowser's ridiculous plans over the years. After she points out the obvious fact that she doesn't like him in the slightest, Bowser realizes that he actually has zero risk and starts to crash out. In a fit of rage, Bowser renounces his love for Peach, stealing an item that Dedede was holding onto. But things quickly spiral when he fuses the mysterious item with Bowser's genius paintbrush, triggering an uncontrollable surge of power that transforms him into a mindless beast. Amid the chaos, he unleashes a wave of black liquid that begins tearing to the castle. This liquid would accidentally touch Kamek and Cammy, and both are absorbed by it in a quite horrifying way, with their fates left disturbingly ambiguous. Back at Peach's castle, the Sonic crew finally manages to drive off the Koopalings. As they try to catch Bowser Jr., just then, they learn about the absolute disaster unfolding in Bowser's castle. Once they arrive, they find Mario and Luigi severely injured, but still refusing to back down. However, everyone still struggles to take down this monstrous version of Bowser, and they all start getting absorbed by the black liquid as well, one by one. When it seems that all hope is lost, Meta Knight comes in at the last second and destroys Bowser Jr.'s paintbrush. Since that was the source of Bowser's transformation, he returns to normal. As it looks like the situation isn't so dire anymore, Mario, Luigi and Peach go back to Peach's castle cause holy shit, just look at them, and Sonic, Yoshi and Tails have another fight with Bowser, this time winning with the help of Kirby. Just before all of it is over, Tails notices Meta Knight alongside Kirby and Tiff trying to lift a star-looking object Focus. And he invites them to come along to Peach's castle as well. Wrapping up the episode. So the first criticism I'll give, which is also the biggest, is Jesus Lord, oh Jesus, what is that length, my guy? Is this a competition with Super All-Star Bros for who can have the longest episode? It's 20 minutes of difference, and I can tell who's the culprit here. Remember when I said that the Kamek and Cammy fight was kinda unnecessary, it just blurred the runtime for episode 1? Well, that's applied tenfold here. In total, there are 6 fight scenes, and when joining them all together, it's 26 minutes of straight hands. Not to necessarily say that all of them are meaningless, far from it, but they did kinda go for a bit too long. And there were at least 2 occasions where I felt that they were flat out unnecessary. The first one is the Sonic Squad versus the Koopalings. The length of the other battles averaged around 3 to 4 minutes, but this one, for some reason, lasted 8. And you feel all 8 of them. I found myself zoning out on my rewatch, especially since I was way more invested on Mario's side. And the other instance is Sonic, Tails and Yoshi versus Bowser and Co by the end. Now this is the part that really got me. We had just come off of a massive, emotionally intense scene. Bowser had been stopped and he hit what felt like a perfect ending point. But then, we were thrown into another fight and my reaction was just, why is it still going? By that point, it's not hype. It's overstaying its welcome, delaying the credits and diluting the impact of what came before. Both of these moments involving Sonic is not a coincidence too, and it's the reason for my next point, I do not care for the Sonic side. Kirb Crew has told me several times that my videos had great advice and tips, and that when he divided Mario scenes and Sonic scenes, he saw in my analysis of why episodes 3 and 6, 7 of Heroes of Stars were good examples when splitting groups. But I will concede that I forgot to mention one crucial thing. See, none of these occasions I referenced would have worked if each side didn't offer something compelling. Let's take episode 3 again, my GOAT. What did each side make me feel? Mario scenes were comfortable, as if I was walking around with a pair of slippers and a hot coffee around Bowser's castle. Mario's been there many times, so it's normal for him to infiltrate it easily. Bowser's sides made me feel dread. My home got invaded and my soldiers got taken from me. It no longer feels like home, does it? It's heartbreaking. The fact that it's total opposites as well adds contrast, and consequently adds layers. Now back to Warriors of Chaos, I'll talk about Mario's side later, but from a writing standpoint, what did Sonic's side make me feel? Honestly, nothing. It's literally, y'all got any good writing? You got hype moments and aura. It really is just fighting. And it's between a lot of characters, none of them getting a real focus, and because of that, it's all very superficial. Worse, a lot of characters you see here didn't even get a proper introduction, a tiny look into the personalities, like Amy, Knuckles, Blaze, Cream, and all the Koopalings. You can take episode 1 for introducing them all at once. It's yet again like Myth, where the story assumes that you already know who these characters are. For most viewers who are fans, this is not an issue, but let's say for the average Joe, you see Blaze ask if she can turn into Burning Blaze, and I bet his reaction is just, "What the fuck even are you, Lamau?" Not to say that this side is completely useless to episode 2, it did make me appreciate the animation at hand, it is much better than episode 1, but it's not enough. We know that Mario's section is the highlight, so it should obviously get the majority of the screen time, but it's equally divided, but it shouldn't. You said that you wanted for the Sonic side to be as important, but it just isn't. No matter how well animated or hype it is. If I were to suggest a fix, I say treat it as something that's happening in the background. Cut to it occasionally, but don't let it overstay its welcome. Instead of showing the entire sequence of them planning to take down the airship, flying to it, fighting every enemy along the way, and then finally bringing it down, condense it. Start with the plan, cut to Mario, and when you return to them, they're already on the airship and just about to destroy it. It keeps the pacing tight, maintains the illusion of time passing, lets Sonic's crew have their moment without stealing too much attention, and I bet it saves a ton of workload.
Work smarter, not harder.
My next and final criticism is certain overused tropes are still present. I'll be short in this section since it's the very same song and dance we're used to. Bowser has a new form and defeats Mario with it. The new character saves Mario from Bowser's new form. Oh, but it's not Sonic this time! Sure. But at the end of the day, it's still the crossovering character defeating Bowser and saving Mario. It doesn't feel like the three franchises are equally crossovering here. The Mario cast is the host, the Kirby cast is the fish out of the water, and the Sonic cast, despite their sheer numbers, is still just kinda there. And where have I seen that before? While Kara's Emeralds seem to be absent, the MacGuffins now are the 7 rainbow drops from Kirby, so structure-wise, it's the same. But I could be proven wrong with the execution. And in the middle of the episode, there's a scene that is just too similar to the typical Mecha Sonic introduction. Not with Mecha Sonic, calm down, but with Galactonite. You have the NPC Toads who are wandering about in a forest, they find a rainbow drop, there's a comedic tone, and then Galactonite comes in and ruins everything. Even the assets seem to be similar to SMDX remake scene. But it's okay guys, there's no gore here. Woohoo! No gore in my Mario, let's fucking go! Alright. That's enough negativity. I feel like Kirb Crew is crying in the corner at this point. Nah, just kidding. He knows how to take criticism, unlike a certain someone. I should note that only the length is the major issue to me. I still really enjoyed the episode overall. Now, let's talk about the good. Despite featuring tropes that are well known from other clones, some other tropes have been completely broken. Take Bowser for example. He starts doing his usual "woe is me" monologue about always losing, but this time Mario cuts him off with a blunt "we get it." It's a small and self-aware joke that I actually adore so much. Luigi's characterization also stands out. He's scared, but isn't a coward. He acts in spite of his fear, and that gives his moments a lot more weight. The bros lose before Bowser's transformation. Even if he was the winner in the physical sense, after Peach's speech, Bowser will lose the mental battle, ending up betraying the one trump card that made him win, that being DDD. Peach actually gets to do things for once. She's not just waiting around to be rescued, she takes action, makes decisions, and even throws the King of the Koopas off his game. Mario's side is just great. Peach's confrontation with Bowser is one of the most powerful moments in this episode. A Ricker Rider would have left her in the cage, waiting for Mario and Luigi to get some random power boost and save the day. But not here. She doesn't just react to danger, she walks right in front of it. It's rare to see Peach written with this kind of bravery. Heck, it's rare to see Peach written. Go blame the clones for being clones. And to be frank, it's also SMZ's fault. Because in that series, the only times where she is relevant is when she gets kidnapped again. Wow, what a novelty. Back to woke, it's not just what she says that lands, it's how she says it. The voice acting here adds so much weight and emotion to the scene. You can hear the anger, the hurt, the exhaustion in Peach's voice. It doesn't feel like she's reading a script, it feels like she's finally letting out everything she's bottled up over years of being caught in Bowser's cycle. Props to Kitty Hate Machine VA for giving out life. Actually, in fact, props to all the voice actors featured in this episode. They all sounded within the range of what I expect the cast to sound like. Wait, is that Bear? I do think the Bowser Jr. VA needed to get a new mic. It was kinda noticeable. Even if the Sonic side was kinda boring and surface level, it did do one thing really well. It made me look forward to when it was finally over, and I don't mean that in a mean-spirited way. As the 8-minute fight against the Koopalings wrapped up and they were delivered the warning that Bowser gone rogue, the tone of the episode immediately changed. The jokes stopped, the characters dropped their goofy idle animations, even the upbeat music faded into silence. Just like that, it stopped feeling like a Saturday morning cartoon brawl and started being something else. Sonic, Tails, Yoshi and Bowser Jr. go to Bowser's castle to check on the situation. When they arrive, they notice that the castle is torn apart, full of holes, warped walls and trails of black liquid oozing everywhere. Without outright telling us, we know that something bad happened here. Is that good environmental storytelling that I smell? Wow. And then, bam, Mario is sent flying across the screen. When they run to check on him and lift his arm, his face is revealed to be completely bruised and battered. Here's Francis' live reaction to it, by the way. We didn't even see what happened, and that makes it better. As the Mario Bros get launched to the ground, Bowser prepares a giant blow. Peach attempts to save them, but to my shock, Bowser actually lands this blow and hits all three of them. No Deus Ex Machina here. They are out for good. After this, Bowser, just for a split second, regains a glimpse of his old self. By the way, I drew this. He looks at Peach, and just as he realizes that he might have gone too far, brainwashed Bowser will return to the frame, with an even darker form. Now, I wanna highlight this next moment. Did you notice something different here? Throughout the entire episode, every single fight had some kind of epic music, whatever, but it was always loud and bombastic. But not this part. Something as small as this basically tells you, yeah, this isn't meant to be happening. As the trio go to help the Mario Bros and Peach, they are hit with the black liquid and to become engulfed in it. Speaking of the black liquid, what does it do, by the way? Does it kill you? Does it corrupt you? Does it put you in a petrified state? Does it send you somewhere else? We have no clue, and that unknown is what makes it interesting. When Mario, Luigi and Peach get hit with it as well, as they all say goodbye to each other, as they shed a single tear, I genuinely ask myself, what happens next? Where do we even go from here? I was invested. This moment alone was the climax for me. As we know, Meta Knight would swoop in and save everyone, just like episode 1 he decided to play it safe and use the common trope. But you know what? For a moment, I saw something different. A glimpse of what it could have been. And frankly, this glimpse alone brought something I haven't felt in a Sprite series for a very long time. Tension. Not spectacle, not flashy choreography, not cool moments number 57, but actual, honest to God, tension. Earlier, I said that this episode had 26 minutes of fight scenes.
I lied.
It actually has 30. Those additional 4 minutes was this scene. But as I was watching it, I realized that this wasn't a fight. It wasn't your typical boss battle from our average clone. It was a disaster. It was dangerous. It was a complete wash. Like the usual rules didn't apply anymore. Regarding their defeat, the more I thought about it, the more I realized this moment isn't that unique in structure. It's still very similar to how SMBZ and all the other clones handled it. Mario still loses to a new Bowser form. But in execution, it does feel different, and that's what saves it. In SMBZ, the tension is direct and immediate. It's about life and death. You know Metal Bowser's attack is lethal. There's a clear, visible outcome. Either the Mario Bros die, or they don't. In Warriors of Chaos, the reason why I think it's unique is not because it's more dramatic, but because it's more uncertain. The finishing blow here is the black liquid. Something was gonna happen to them. Again, are they being corrupted? Are they being teleported? That ambiguity changes everything. The fear comes not from death, but from the unpredictable. SMBZ gives us a dilemma, Warriors of Chaos gives us a void. Another major praise I wanna give is its presentation. So, what sets Warriors of Chaos apart? Well, it's the fact that it actually has original sequences. Where many others insert constant callbacks or even started plagiarism, Kirb Crew mostly kept things fresh. The closest thing it gets to mimicking is through homages, like Yoshi performing his brothership attack, Amy recreating the pose from the Sonic movie 3 credits, or Mario doing the Peach ice attack from the Mario movie. These are nods, not crutches. Even if SMDX might look better at the first glance, it has cleaner rigging, it has a more dynamic camera work, it has a more consistent pacing. You have to remember, more than half of those supposedly impressive moments are just borrowed from other sources. There's no thought behind it, no effort, no passion, no soul. Warriors of Chaos may not have the same polished presentation as SMDX, but what it does offer is original, creative, and made from scratch animation. I value that much more. Another factor is the attention to detail, and I have to admit something. They are my soft spot. I'm sure you heard of the expression, "it's the little things." Well, these little things are one of the unsung heroes in sprite animation, and just animation in general. The little things that divide an intermediate animator between a professional one. The little things that most sprite series wouldn't even consider. For example, when the Mario Bros fight brainwashed Bowser, their sprites visibly change to reflect the damage they've taken. Can you recall the last time a series did that? That's right, SMZ Episode 2 Reboot. SMDX Episode 5 that was released after the Metallics and Yoshi fight, therefore having the blueprints, didn't even bother to add any injuries to Knuckles after his own fight with Mechasalix IV. I'll sound like a sociopath, but seeing Mario and Luigi beaten up like this is just so refreshing. It's subtle, but it adds weight and urgency to the scene. Could you imagine if they looked normal? Exactly. Peach, who was mostly unharmed for most of the fight, also shows signs of injury after Bowser's finishing blow. These changes aren't just visual cosmetics, they reinforce the stakes at hand. As someone who has a lot of experience with sprites, I won't tell you why, this is not a quick and easy task as well, as you have to change each individual sprite and keep it consistent with each other. Speaking of consistency, the spatial continuity is another highlight here. Early on, after dealing with Bowser's army, the Mario Bros break through a wall onto Bowser's room. Later, another hole is made that leads outside. When the Bros lose and they are launched back inside, it's through that exact hole. When Sonic and the others arrive to the first corridor and witness Mario getting back up, he moves through both holes, first into Bowser's room and then outside again. All of this contributes to the viewer staying oriented throughout the chaos. The characters don't just float around on a static background like they're in a giant boxing ring, they interact with the environment. When Peach is overwhelmed by Bowser's clones, she doesn't just stand there and fights them like a Mary Sue. No, she's forced to flee behind a tree. It fits her character. She's a support, not a fighter. These subtle and thoughtful moments show that the creator isn't just animating characters, they're animating a world. And that's what elevates the animation of Warriors of Chaos. It's not just good because it moves well, it's good because it thinks well. Every bit of animation, every transition, every change in the environment contributes to the story being told. It respects your attention, rewards your observation, and never lets style get in the way of substance. That's what polished animation really looks like. This series is not a carbon copy of SMEZ, SMEDX, or Heroes of Stars, but you can see some similarities. No matter how different Bowser's form was, it still is the typical Bowser transformation used to defeat Mario at the first chapters of a story, trademark. It doesn't erase what is unique here, but it does hold it back from fully stepping into its own shadow. Right now, it's caught between tribute and transformation, half remix, half redefinition. And really, it depends how much one is willing to tolerate this. I have friends that make an ugly expression at the mere thought of another crossover, while others don't mind it and give it a chance. Personally, I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm not the same ruthless bastard I was 4 years ago. You little bastard. So give it a try. Really, the only drawback is the length. When I asked Francie if he watched it, he said he didn't because he just didn't have the time for it. I think I can trust Kirb crew with the future of this series. The start is always bound to be seen through the SMEZ goggle lens, but as you go along, as you release more episodes, as you stray away from this tired old format, people must start seeing it for what it is, and not for what it isn't.